update on top accolade news. The headlines: Ukraine and European allies demand involvement in peace talks. International summit in Paris kicks off to shape Syria's political transition. Thousands protest in Belgium over new pension reforms. Turkey's current account deficit shrinks significantly in 2024. In politics, Ukraine and European allies demand involvement in peace talks. Ukraine and key European nations are calling for a role in any peace negotiation following US President Donald Trump's announcement of immediate talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the ongoing war in Ukraine. Trump confirmed the two leaders agreed to begin negotiation, though it remains unclear if Ukrainian President Zelensky will be directly involved. This marks a shift from the nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine policy under former President Biden, raising concerns in Kyiv and among its allies that Ukraine could be pressured into territorial and political contentions. While both the US and Russia shows openness to peace, the exact terms and involvement of Ukraine remains uncertain, with Ukrainian officials expressing concerns about being excluded from key discussions. Still in politics, international summit in Paris kicks off to shape Syria's political transition. An international conference aimed at shaping Syria's peaceful and inclusive future kicks off in Paris. The summit seeks to unite global efforts to support Syria's political transition, with key discussions set to include Syrian Foreign Minister Assad Hassan al-Shibani and officials from neighboring countries like Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Lebanon. Representatives from Western nations and organizations including the UNHCR and IIIM will join talks focusing on mobilizing international aid, addressing transitional justice, and ensuring the rights of Syrians. The inclusion of the Syrian Democratic Forces in the political process is also expected to be a key topic. Moving on in politics, thousands protest in Belgium over new pension reforms. In Belgium, protests erupted across the country on Thursday as thousands of people took part in a multi-day strike against the government's proposed pension reforms. With 430 flights cancelled at Brussels airport and public services disrupted, the demonstration is a response to pension changes that punish early retirees without 35 years of service, while rewarding those who work longer. The new system is seen as particularly unfair to low-income workers. The strike, supported by firefighters and military personnel, marked the first major challenge for the new Prime Minister sworn in government. Shifting focus to economy, Turkey's current account deficit shrinks significantly in 2024. Turkey's current account deficit for December 2024 came in at $4.65 billion, slightly surpassing expectation, but official data shows a substantial reduction in the full-year deficit compared to last year. The deficit for 2024 stood at just under $10 billion, a dramatic drop from the nearly $40 billion gap recorded in 2023. The country's current account, excluding gold and energy, posted a surplus in December, helping to drive down the deficit to GDP ratio to 0.7%. The trade minister highlighted the positive impact of this decline on Turkey's financial stability and inflation control. The country's economic stability appears to be moving towards greater stability, with the government targeting a 1.7% deficit to GDP ratio in the medium term. You are watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. With us. Still in economy, Honda, Nissan and Mitsubishi abandon merger plans. Honda, Nissan and Mitsubishi have announced that they are dropping their plans to merge following discussions that began in December. The automakers had hoped to create a joint holding company, but the talks have now unraveled with no clear reason given for the breakdown. Analysts have raised doubts about the benefits of the merger, noting the overlap in the company's model lineups and the challenges posed by the rise of electric vehicle makers like Tesla and BYD. Despite the collapse of the major plans, the companies will continue their collaboration on electric vehicles and smart car technologies. Now in conflict, US intelligence warned of potential Israeli preemptive strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. US intelligence reports suggest Israel may launch a preemptive attack on Iran's nuclear program by mid-year. According to multiple reports, the strike could delay Iran's nuclear progress but also escalate tension in the region, risking a broader conflict. Intelligence assessments, including from the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Defense Intelligence Agency, allied that Israel believes its previous airstrike on Iran in October has weakened the country's air defenses, making it vulnerable to further attacks. While the White House has not commented, President Donald Trump emphasized his determination to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, stating it would prefer negotiation but would act if necessary. Moving to entertainment. Diddy files $100 million lawsuit against TV network over allegations in documentary. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs has filed a $100 million lawsuit against NBC, Peacock and production company Apple, accusing them of making defamatory statements in their documentary, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. The lawsuit alleges that the documentary falsely portrayed him as a criminal involved in murder and sex trafficking. Combs, who is facing criminal charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, denies all allegations. His lawyer argues that this documentary was published recklessly and maliciously for profit, causing significant harm to his reputation. Combs continues to deny the claims and plans to defend himself in court. Now in sports, Usain Bolt breaks silence on stolen $12.8 million. Usain Bolt is speaking out after 2 years of frustration over his stolen $12.8 million. The Olympic icon revealed that his account at Kingston-based Stocks and Security Limited was emptied, and despite investigation, he hasn't seen a penny of his money. Bolt criticized the Jamaican government for not doing enough to resolve the situation and expressed his doubt that anything will change except more pressure is applied. He also made it clear that he is unwilling to hurt the Jamaican's reputation by granting interviews, but after 2 years of waiting for action, he is now considering drastic steps. That concludes our global news update for today. Stay tuned for more global news and development. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojorumi Okucha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.